Okay, hello to all of you. My name is Rebecca Leonardis, and I want to welcome you to week 6 of our continuing education series. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're catching this as a recording and happen to have any questions, please do reach out to either myself or the person who invited you to class, and we can help get those cleared up for you, okay? If you are tuning into this class for the first time, and you heard me say that it's week 6, but you haven't participated in any of the previous weeks, that's totally okay. You are more than able to jump in at any point during our 8-week series. And in fact, we're excited to be able to share with you the fact that our next complete 8-week series will start. It will kick off on October the 8th. I got a sneeze coming. I'm so sorry. So that will start with week 1. Oh, excuse me. Those things just kind of sneak up on you when you least expect it, right? So it'll kick off week 1 on October the 1st, or sorry, October the 8th will be week 1. Each week we will go into a new topic and we will explore it in depth. If you have already attended a particular topic, you can skip it or you can watch it again. The great thing about this 8-week series is that it's taught by 6, 7, or maybe even 8 different teachers. We're all part of the same doTERRA team, but as educators and people who love to partner with one another, we love being able to share the way we educate with our entire team, because it's nice to hear from a different voice every once in a while. The way I teach something is different from some of the girls that I have the pleasure of working with, and therefore you get the benefit of learning from people who say things in a little bit different way. So we hope for sure you'll join us. The advantage to you in participating in all 8 of the modules is this. At the end of it, not only will you have loads of really great in-depth information, you will also have an opportunity to earn a free gift from the person who enrolled you or the person who sent you to these classes. Now, that gift might be different because each of us are presenting our own unique gift to the people that we've brought into this education series. So connect back with them, find out a little bit more the details on that. But the best part, like I said, is really the education. We're so glad that you said yes to the opportunity of doTERRA. And we hope now with your membership, you're really going to lean into what it means to be part of this community, because there's a ton to learn that we certainly know, which is obviously why we have this 8-week series. There's probably other topics that we could spin this off into, and maybe one day in the future we will. But the goal of the 8 weeks is to expose you to a particular topic, knowing that you have a doTERRA membership already, and allow you to see what else the oils are able to do for you. So if sleep is an issue for you, or immunity is of concern to you, or mental wellness, or any of the many topics that we can say are top priority for us, what we'll do is we'll explore those in detail, give you some indication as to what we feel you might be interested in to meet a goal you might have in that particular area. And that'll give you a chance to know what to put in your cart for future months. Since you already have the membership, you know that you get a discount on all of the products. You know that you can have your shipping covered because you would be on our loyalty rewards program, which is often hyphenated. You've probably heard the term LRP before. But I mean, I guess what I'm trying to get here is we want to help you maximize what you've already set yourself up to take advantage of. So let's dive into this a little bit. I'm thrilled to be able to bring week 6 to you, because it is in fact one of my very favorite topics. Today we're going to be talking about sleep, stress, and emotions. And I really think eventually we will kind of separate those out a little bit. But for today, we want to keep it nice and concise. We want to offer you a chance to hear just a few key tips and a few key pieces of information that can help you if sleep has become an issue for you, or if stress has become, I think we all deal with stress, but some of our coping mechanisms could probably be a little bit stronger. And then, of course, the topic of our emotional wellness. And it's all really tied together, but we'll explore that together this afternoon. So let me pull up my screen here because it's nice to have something to follow along with. I like to be able to provide that to you. So let's go ahead and get started. I would like to begin really with asking you to give some consideration around how you would rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest or a big problem. How would you rate yourself on the following questions? How often are you aware of being stressed in your daily life? Okay, give yourself a score from 1 to 10. How about this one? How concerned are you about the quality and the quantity of your sleep? And how frequently do your emotions feel difficult to manage properly? And trust me, I know that your response to these is probably relative to whatever's happening in your life right now. So let's just go with that. Don't try and average it out. What are things like right now in the moment? And then we'll talk about products that can certainly lend some support in helping to balance your cycle so that you can not only manage stress better, but you can get better quality sleep, sleep a little longer if that's of a concern to you, and really focus on making your emotional health a top priority and helping create some balance there as well. So when we begin talking about this particular topic, I love introducing people to this idea that aroma or essential oils have a massive impact on how we function with regards to stress, how we function with regards to sleep, and certainly how we function with regards to our emotions. There is a tiny area of the brain, it's like a control tower, and this is an area that we call the hypothalamus. And when you become stressed, this area of the brain is triggering a response in the body to send out the stress hormones. So you've probably heard of stress hormones like cortisol before, right? And this is not to suggest that cortisol, for example, is the enemy. In fact, some of these hormones, like cortisol in particular, it is your body's defense mechanism. However, in the kind of life that most of us are leading right now, we are being triggered to release these stress hormones far more frequently than we ever have in past generations, and they're being released over prolonged periods of time. So anything in excess, as you guys know, can and will likely create a problem for us. And it shows up sometimes in our emotional wellness or some of our sleep routines. And you might notice it in other areas of your life too, like digestion or areas like that. But for today, we'll talk specifically about this. Some of the symptoms of this, if you haven't self-identified this for yourself just yet, are things like feeling irritable, experiencing anxiety or feelings of depression, headaches, insomnia, poor immune function. And by that, I simply mean you're more susceptible to contract something like a cold, like a common cold or things of that nature, okay? And you have typically increased blood pressure when, these stress hormones are being released over and over and over again and over these prolonged periods of time. Check out this statistic here. I like sharing this one because I think it is very revealing. It's very telling. It says 70% of problem sleeping are related to psychophysiological issues. The other portion are divvied up, 15% environmental and 15% medical. So that is actually, even though it's a huge number, a huge statistic, and can seem very daunting, I would like to reposition that to you in the sense that this offers us some serious hope that we have some control over this situation. So stick with me as we start talking about some of the products that we can offer that help actually give you that control back, because we can't necessarily control that 15% of what's happening in the environment, and 15% medical that can be related to a lot of things. Maybe you're on a prescription medication, for example, and that's important to your overall well-being. Well, that's not something we're, suggesting that you mess around with. That's something that is necessary for you. But the other 70%, we have got some control over that. And that's a very optimistic position to be in. And that's part of the reason you probably said yes to doTERRA in the first place and became a member of the community, because every time you learn something about one of these oils, you can feel it relating to a specific area of your life. I know this because this was my experience, and I've been doing doTERRA as a business now for over 6 years, and I have witnessed this happening for many, many other people. So this feeling of hope and optimism, knowing that the oils in your home have given you some of that control back to be able to, get yourself back on track. Let's talk about what some of the key products are. Not suggesting that you dive into all of these. My recommendation is take a look at some of the descriptions of these, and let's self-identify where we feel we might experience the most impact. And through your loyalty rewards program, pick a couple or even one to start with and give it some time to work in your life. So for example, your nighttime regimen. When we talk about sleep, there are a lot of things that can support sleep. So making sure that you're sleeping in a cool, quiet room with lights. Darkness has been studied to be one of the key components of a good quality sleep. So these are all things that, while I may not mention them during this conversation, they are certainly tools that you can leverage for better quality and quantity of sleep. But as it relates to doTERRA, let's talk about the Serenity soft gels. Maybe you've never even heard of them. Maybe you've known about them but haven't yet given them a try. I want to suggest that this is a really great place for you to start, because everyone sleeps. We know that 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping. So you have this opportunity every night to measure whether it's making a difference for you. And keep in mind, we are chemical beings, and essential oils are also chemistry. So it may not begin to work for you right away. If you're not sleeping because you're stressed, then we've got this whole collection of strategies that we need to put in place for you. We're starting with one of them. So don't set the bar super high, but introduce these items slowly and begin to measure what they're able to do for you. They will do good for you. So these soft gels, you would simply take one of these about a half an hour before you are ready to go to bed. And what this will offer to you is the opportunity to have your central nervous system calmed right down. Okay, so if stress is preventing sleep for you, this offers you that opportunity to gain some control back and be able to stop that chatter that often happens right before you're trying to fall asleep. You know how our brains start thinking about everything. It's going to allow you an opportunity to sort of, move through that with a little bit more ease. If your issue is physical, again, calming the central nervous system down also will help in situations where physically you're struggling to find peace and fall asleep. So that's a great one to add. I believe there are 60, it's hard for me to see on that. I believe there are 60 capsules. So that's 2 months worth of great nights of sleep, or good nights of sleep to start. And then we move into the great, but give that some consideration. What a simple way to naturally offer your body some peace and calm. Now, along that same idea, there's another supplement that was introduced not that long ago from doTERRA called Copaiba. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Even though this one wasn't necessarily positioned as the nighttime number one option, this is the one I go to all the time. So I think my husband would probably say Serenity soft gels for his betterment of sleep. For me, it is unequivocally the Copaiba soft gels. This helps soothe anxious feelings, which is often why I'm not able to rest, and perhaps you can relate to that. And it also promotes homeostasis. So homeostasis is just your body finding its own natural rhythm. Great, both of them are phenomenal. Again, keep in mind, these are products that you would use once about 30 minutes before you go to bed. Super easy, no side effects, no risk of addiction, any of those types of things that you have to give any consideration to. You've adopted this membership into a natural health community. So now you get to try some of these products without worrying about those side effects or potential for addiction. Now, an alternative nightly regime, I like to be able to offer this to you because we are all so different from one another. Even in that first example, my husband and I being different with our nightly regime. You may find that you'd like to try something entirely different, and that's great too. So let's talk about what that could look like. There is a new soft gel available, which is really what it was designed for, is our mental wellness. And I'm going to talk about this in a few moments, but it's called Adaptive, and you would take this when needed. So if it was specific to sleeping, you would take this, like I said, half an hour before you were ready to go to sleep. You could also take this throughout the day so that you were lining yourself up for good rest. Because as you begin to wind down, that starts long before you're starting, getting ready, pulling the covers back and brushing your teeth. This soft gel encourages relaxation, it calms, and it promotes positive feelings. So dependent on what your sleep issues really are, if it has an emotional connection to it, you may want to give some consideration to the adaptive supplements. Now, another option for your consideration is one called Yarrow. Yarrow is a combination of the yarrow oil plus it is infused with pomegranate as a delivery system. Pomegranate being the not the essential oil, but I can't think of the word right now, but the carrier oil, sorry. And this is great for promoting cellular health and promoting recovery of cells. It's great for overall brain health as well. So if you really need some help deciphering which one of these might be best for you, my advice would be connect with the person who invited you to the class. Now you've been exposed to a few options. If you want to get really specific and really individualized with it, let's talk about what's keeping you awake at night and then get a recommendation from the person who can help you best. Okay. Moving along here, as it relates to stress, sleep, and emotions, keep in mind that the oils that you have in your home or the oils that you're giving some consideration to bringing into your home are super duper easy for you to use. But my very favorite tip to share with you is prepare them in a way that makes them even easier to offer an end goal result. Okay, so what I mean by that is this: if we're looking to support ourselves emotionally and we're looking to support ourselves with better sleep, then let's take an idea like this hibernation roller bottle and prepare it ahead of time and literally have it sitting out beside our bedside so that we're able to, so that we think of it first of all, and so that it's prepared and we have more of an inclination to use it because it's easy. It's easy and it's available. If you purchase your oils and then you stick them in a drawer, my guess is that they won't get used even a fraction of the amount that they could and should be used. Whereas if you take a little bit of time and prepare something like this blend, keep it out in the open right by where you're going to be. So even if you're already laying in bed and you think to yourself, oh shoot, I haven't done my oils yet, you just reach over, you grab it, you can apply it to the bottoms of the feet. Let's take a look what comprises this, this recommendation called the hibernation roller. So it is frankincense, vetiver, bergamot, and Roman chamomile. So if you came to an Essential Oils 101 class, or you've been to any style of the beginner's classes, you might have been introduced to some of the oils that have a calming effect on you. Your educator might have even mentioned a compound called linalool. Well, linalool is found in each of the 4 oils that are shared on your screen right now. And when you pair them with one another, you are now amplifying their ability to help calm and restore peace in the body. We know that frankincense is prized for soothing and settling the mind. It eases hyperactivity. So if that's immediately got you thinking not only about yourself, but other people in the house, I want to remind you at this point that you can feel perfectly safe using this on everyone in the house. Okay, so these oils have been tested 54 different ways per batch. We know that they are the most high quality, high therapeutic grade oils on the market today. You made a really good choice with your membership. So you can use them on babies, toddlers, elderly. You can use them on virtually anyone. Vetiver is a natural tranquilizer. It stops that mind chatter that we talked about before when I was sharing the supplement options with you. So that's one to give some great consideration to. It's funny with Vetiver. If you invest in Vetiver, if you're adding this one to your cart, let me just give you a heads up on this one. It moves in the bottle the way it makes you feel when you use it. What I mean by that, I should have got that out. I've had people message me and say, I can't get anything out of my Vetiver bottle. I've literally been holding it upside down for a really long time and not even one drop comes out. This is very common. So don't be fooled when you bring it into your own home. You do have to hold it for a little bit because that first slow amber drop that comes out of that bottle, it moves very slowly. Once it gets a bit of air in it, I find it starts to move a little bit quicker. But you might want to take a look at getting one of those dropper tops for your Vetiver bottle. You can get those at places like aromatools.com. There's a few other places I can share with you as well, but it might be worth getting one of the drop tops for your Vetiver bottle. Especially if stress is your issue. The last thing I want to do is recommend you use Vetiver before bed and then you can't get a drop out of your Vetiver bottle. So let's talk about that. Bergamot calms agitation and stress. It's a natural sedative. And Roman chamomile, you might be familiar with this if you're into herbs or if you like to enjoy tea. This has a calming and relaxing effect on you. It soothes and clears the mind. So combine all these in a roller bottle. Okay, just a roller bottle that you've prepared and you put, it says 20 drops of each of these oils. You know, I feel like that's an awful lot. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like that you begin to experiment with this. Personally, I would put 4 of each of these in a bottle this size. And this is a 10 mil. Yeah, this is a 10 mil roller. Once I have the oils dropped into the roller bottle, I top it up with the fractionated coconut oil, which is just the liquefied coconut oil, and give it a little shake. And then I've got it prepared and it can sit right by my bedside table, like I said, so that I use it far more often than if I tucked it away somewhere. If you feel like you'd like to do 20 drops of each of these, by all means, you want to follow this to a T, then go for it. I think everyone has a different experience with the oils. Mine is less is more. All right, I will move on. I'm sharing this with you. This was, 6 years ago when I started with doTERRA, we talked about the mood matrix a lot. And I loved this because it helped people figure out what, from an emotional perspective, were they actually looking to deal with. It wasn't just enough to say, I want to calm my emotions. Was it that you were looking to calm your emotions because you were restless and had no peace, because you were stressed, because you were feeling fatigued, like that depressed, very low feeling? What specifically are we getting at? Perhaps it was no passion, that very lackluster kind of feeling. And some of these tend to arise a little bit more during seasonal periods of our life. I know, in the deep of winter, we can find ourselves moving into a completely different state emotionally. So it's really good to know that these oils are available to support you in those situations, because their impact, if you don't witness it in yourself, you will certainly observe it in other people in your home. And if you've got kids in the house, they are such a great barometer for understanding how the oils are working. So let's say, for example, you are looking to provide some peace and calm. We talked about Serenity soft gels before. It also comes in a liquid blend form. So that's something, as you know, you can use in your diffuser. You could apply it to a pulse point. Want to dilute that with some coconut oil, of course, just for sensitivity purposes. But this offers an opportunity to experience something aromatically, so you're taking it in through the respiratory system. It also gives you an opportunity to experience it through the skin, so the body is absorbing it and accessing every cell in the body within about 30 minutes. So you get quick results from this, which is why we say, if you're looking to achieve results because you need a better sleep, then that's why that 30-minute marker has been determined, because that's when it has the opportunity to access every part of your body. Now, Citrus Bliss, this one is my jam right here. This one is invigorating, stimulating, and motivating. So anything that has the citrus oils in it, so wild orange, bergamot, grapefruit, green mandarin. There's actually quite a number of doTERRA citrus oils. You can actually type that in. Just type in citrus into your doTERRA back office, and it will offer you a few options. You decide where you are most likely to use a citrus oil, okay? I love Citrus Bliss because it's been around a long time, so it's been part of my life for a number of years now. But in a diffuser, this has the ability to uplift everyone in our home. So I've often put this in a diffuser and had it ready to go in the mornings as I'm getting the kids ready for school. I love the impact that it has on them. Let's take a look at Balance, which is part of our original 4 emotional blends. This one I have had, if you and I have met at in a physical meeting and you've had a chance to hear me speak, you've probably heard the story that I share about this essential oil blend and my oldest son. He was really struggling with a panic attack one day out of nowhere. And as luck would have it, a bottle of Balance was sitting on my kitchen counter. And I really didn't have time to mess around with thinking about what was the right thing to do, what was the right oil, do I even use an oil? I was quite frightened because he also has, he's grown out of it now, but he has been known to suffer from asthma in the past. And just the way he was hyperventilating and just so emotionally, he was very upset, couldn't breathe. I knew I didn't have time to fiddle around. So I grabbed that bottle of Balance and we put a drop in the palm of his hand, and we did something that we call scent tenting. You might have heard of it already. If not, it's a brand new term for you today. You put a drop of whatever essential oil you wish to use, and then you cup your hands and place your hands over your nose. It's like you're diffusing without a diffuser, and you're just completely immersing yourself in the aroma and the chemical constituents that we know have an effect on our bodies, our brains. And I witnessed him being able to calm down. And I knew it would do that. I just didn't realize that it would happen so quickly and so completely. Like he was startled by it. He actually looked at me and told me he thought I was a weirdo because of the impact that it had. I think he was frightened in that experience too, and very blown away by its effect. The last one in this little quad of emotional oils is one called Elevation. And this one is great because in a diffuser or used on the pulse points of the body, this one is very inspiring, encouraging, and cheering. Now, as I introduce you to these 4 oils, I also want you to be aware, I don't want to overwhelm you because I know you're picking and choosing what you might want to add to a future order based on what you need in your life right now. But just know that there is an entire emotional collection now. We've got cheer, peace, forgive, passion, motivate, and there's one that I'm forgetting. It's not going to come to me in this moment, but those are all available to you as well. So if you want to explore the idea of using essential oils to support emotional well-being, let's talk more about that, because that is a topic in and of itself. It's particularly precious to me because I feel like we could all benefit in some way. And even if you have skeptics in your home about using the oils for therapy, it's okay, because you put it in a diffuser and anyone who's breathing in the home is going to be receiving the benefits of whatever you choose to put in that diffuser. So let's talk about this trio collection that has been a game changer for so many people, including myself. I want to present it to you in a way that really piques your curiosity. It's only been available to us now for 1 year. It was at doTERRA's convention last year that we were first introduced to this trio. Now, if you are Canadian and you're watching this, we don't have the supplements, the product in the center, available through our Canadian warehouse yet. Excuse me, but Canadian customers, we can still purchase from the US website warehouse. Okay, we're able to jump back and forth. Excuse me. So you have access to this, is what I'm getting at. This collection called Adaptive is our mental wellness blend. I believe they call, calming blend. But it was designed to support overall mental wellness and emotional well-being. This product has been so impactful, and the testimonials that we receive on this from people in so many diverse situations, it's mind-blowing to me. In a single year, I have learned to adore this product collection for all the things that it's able to do and support people with. For myself, my experience with it has been this. I'm not an overly anxious person on a day-to-day basis. I do have bouts of it. It seems to be something that if I get ahead of it, I'm good. But I do suffer pretty significantly when we travel anywhere, whether it's by car or plane or whatever. I seem to have this uptick in anxious feelings, and it's not something I enjoy. It's not something anyone around me enjoys. So I was thrilled to learn that I could take one of the Adaptive soft gel capsules as I needed, and that it would allow for the calming sensation, restoring your body to homeostasis without making me sleepy. This was the key thing, because as a traveler, someone who was often traveling on my own, I did not want to feel sleepy or that I wasn't able to be as alert as I would need to be. I can tell you that I achieved that peaceful, calm feeling with alertness every single time that I've used it. And that has been at least over a dozen times as it relates to traveling anxiety. I now recognize that there are a lot of days where I can benefit from just taking one of these capsules, because each day presents a whole new host of stressful situations, as I'm sure you know, and this is a natural option to help balance the body. Stress is a root cause of sleep deprivation and of weight gain and of all of these other physiological symptoms that we can experience. And if I have something that I can take to work preemptively with no risk of side effects and no risk of addiction, I'm going to say yes every day to that. So I don't actually take it every day. I do take it as needed, and would encourage you, if you ever have any bouts of stress in your life, which I think is everyone, bring this product into your home and let it go to work for you. The supplements. Now, it also comes in a roller bottle, and it also comes in a 15 ml dropper that you see on the right-hand side of your screen. So you could add that one to the diffuser, right, and have it traveling throughout your entire home so that your family is receiving the benefits through respiration. Aromatic therapy, aromatherapy, is a very powerful tool. So keep in mind that this blend is epic for moments when the whole family might be feeling just a little bit extra tense. Now, keep in mind, as I say that, stress and the body's response to it, the body does not understand the difference between good and bad stress. It will just respond to stress. So there was a study done not long ago that revealed that the average person, including children, are experiencing roughly 50 bouts of stress per day, which means that the body is releasing those stress hormones very frequently throughout the day. So it is important for us to recognize this so that we know that there is opportunity for us to introduce something like this, and we will see the benefits of it if we commit to using it as we need it. The roller bottle is just a handy way to travel with an aromatic blend that can go to work for you. So I keep this one in my purse. It's great for rolling on pulse points. It's great for me to be able to share with the kids. Like, even if you have younger kids and maybe they get a little bit homesick or feel some separation anxiety when they're leaving you, maybe as you're sending them off to school, a little swipe of the Adaptive blend can only serve to support them in feeling emotionally stable throughout the day. Now, keep in mind, when you're using any type of topical application, your body will absorb it. Actually, anything, any of these doTERRA oils, really, your body will have to digest it. So it's not going to stay with you all day long. That's important to know. One swipe is not going to be with you at the end of the day. Your liver is digesting everything it comes into contact with, and the oil is no different. So keep it with you throughout the day, because if it serves you well in the morning as you're heading out the door, it will serve you well at lunchtime when you go to reapply. It'll serve you well when you're, sitting in traffic trying to get home at the end of the day, and it'll serve you well just a little swipe before you decide to head off to bed for the night. So this collection, I would love to share more specifically on this with you. If you're curious to know more about just these 3 products, I did do a talk on them not that long ago, and if you request that from me, I'd be happy to send you the link. Or you could go to my YouTube channel, which is just Leotree Wellness, and you can look up the talk I did on Adaptive, okay? And then have access to that. Some diffuser blends that we're always happy to share with you. I highly recommend, maybe take a screenshot of this, but I really highly recommend that you get creative with the oils that you have in your home, and you begin to understand how your family responds to certain oils and combinations of oils. You can't go wrong. You won't make a mistake. So let's eliminate that fear right off the bat. And when you're using it in your diffuser, anyone who's within the range of that diffuser and can breathe is going to experience the benefits. So this has a profound effect on emotions, most definitely, and that supports sleep and stress levels as well. You know what, this is the last time I'll be sharing this slide in one of these classes, because last night doTERRA actually introduced a brand new concept, and as a member, you're going to want to know about this. Maybe you were already participating in convention. I really hope that you were. You would have saw the release of some kits that were pre-made to support key topics in our life. So one of them was mind and mood. And within that, so October 1st, it will become available if you're curious about it. It has a collection of products in it that relate to being supportive of mind and mood. So you get that in your first month. I believe they're somewhere around $75, 60 PV. So you'd be earning points on it, and you'd be getting your shipping covered, which is so cool. And then the following month, you would get another shipment that was part of the Mind and Mood collection. Same price point, different products. And then one more time, you would receive a 3rd installment of the Mind and Mood collection. Same price point again, same PV. And that would put you on the path to really fully understanding how to use the essential oils and the supplements to support mind and mood. So as I share this slide with you, this is what we were doing before. We curated our own wellness boxes, or some ideas on how you could get started if your goal was to support sleep, stress, and emotions. So while this is still very valid, I do want to make a point, because we've just learned this last night, that these new collections will be available on October 1st, 2020. October. Now, as a doTERRA member, you should know that there are so many genius minds within this doTERRA community. One of them is Boyd Truman, B-O-Y-D Truman, T-R-U-M-A-N. And he and his family have a lengthy history in herbal and essential oils as medicine. And he has developed some really, really profound protocols that support you in whatever it is you're looking to achieve. Because we're talking stress, sleep, and emotions today, I want to call some attention to this, what he calls Symphony of the Cells protocol for emotions. And you can see here, there's a lot of oils used in this. So my goal in sharing this with you isn't to lay it on super thick about all the oils you need, but to expose you to this concept that he offers, where these oils can be used in a very specific way. You don't have to know any kind of technique. You just have to apply them in the order in which they're recommended. So check him out. Him and his family are at symphonyofthecells.com. Great way to put your oils into action for you. Now, that really brings me to the end of what I wanted to share with regards to the products that you can put in your cart now and put to work to help you achieve the goal of less stress, better sleep, and a little bit better control over our emotions. And when I say control, that means different things to different people. That might even be you being able to express your emotions. So it's all very important, and it's all relative to where you are in life. Now, as a doTERRA member, I'm sure that when you were at your 101 class, you probably assumed that there was an opportunity for you to share these products with other people. So in a nutshell, I won't keep you long. We're going to be doing a business discussion, a doTERRA business discussion in the very near future. So watch for information on that. But I wanted to share with you, I've mentioned a few times now that I have been doing doTERRA as a business now for 6 years. It's not something I would have predicted for myself, but as a user and a lover of the products, and as someone who shares products that I love anyway, it was a really good fit in my life. And it became easy to say, hey, have you ever heard of this before, to some of my best girlfriends. And then other people started noticing changes in me. So they would ask, and I'd say, well, I don't know, I started using doTERRA. I'm now using this, this, and this. Do you want to give it a try? And then I started sampling a little bit, which is a key component to this business. People, maybe even that's the reason why you started, is you had a sample, therefore you had an experience with the oils. I was all for giving a little bit of my oil that I know you paid for, but I wanted to share with other people so they too could know what it felt like using some of these oils. That's how it evolved. It's really slow, but really powerful in what it can offer to you. Before long, I was having the cost of what I was spending on myself, like the oils for my family, I was having the cost of that covered. So I was spending just over about $100 a month on the oils that my family and I were using. We were really into changing out our cleaning products and just sort of dabbling in what they could do for us from a therapeutic standpoint. We weren't quite ready to dive headfirst in that, but that came with time, and that came with the trust in using the products. So that was the first piece of it. We started having our products covered. Before long, it was the products covered and a little bit of extra. And at the time that I had started with doTERRA, I had just come off of a maternity leave. And if you have ever been on a mat leave before, you know that there's a little bit of a recovery period financially. So it was nice to have just that little bit of extra, right? And the main thing for me was I was like literally loving the oils, what they were doing for us. I had a baby at home. My mom wasn't well. She had been diagnosed with cancer about a year prior to that. So all of these things were pointing me in this direction of natural health. And I know we all have a story. I would just implore you to take a look at what doTERRA could potentially offer to you. I'm not saying jump in and do this as a business, but even if you were to give some consideration to sharing essential oils, sharing doTERRA, you could have the cost of your own oils just covered. And wouldn't that be a blessing in and of itself? Just to, you're going to buy those products anyways, especially if you've gotten into some of those categories like toothpaste and shampoo and things of that nature. You're going to buy them anyway. So why not share what you love and have those products covered so that your family isn't out of pocket for them? That's what can happen. So in order to dig a little deeper on that, I would encourage you to either connect with myself, because I love talking about this, because um, it it's changed my life in almost, well, I was going to say almost every way, but every way. And I feel like, while that might not be something that you're interested in, I bet you'd like to get your products for free. So let's have that conversation. And if it's not with me, then connect with the person who invited you either to this class, or the person who enrolled you with doTERRA, or someone that you really trust. Someone ideally who's using doTERRA as well, okay? And we'll guide you through it. There's lots of information online too if you prefer to do things as a self-starter. I get that. And sometimes, I don't know, just there's some amongst us who like to research things on their own. And if that's you, then we can just plug you into a few of the resources and you can take a look at your leisure, okay? So keep it in mind, doTERRA is a beautiful business. If you're the kind of soul that loves to give and, be immersed in all things natural, this might be something you're truly interested in. So give it some consideration. I hope to hear from you if I piqued your curiosity, even a tiny, tiny little bit. So that brings us to the end of episode 6, week 6 of 8. I think you'll be seeing me again next week, and then we get to hear from Heather Harris the week following. So I'm excited about that, guys. And like I said, if you've missed any of the episodes in the 8-week series, you will have another opportunity beginning October the 8th. And once you've completed all 8 modules, not in order, they can happen any old time, you're going to get a free gift. Okay. So thank you very much for your attention, and I will look forward to chatting with you soon.